Passing any wonderful food today, so I apologize for this if you are expecting that. Um, so the company is called Firezza, and I came to this country in 1992 as a refugee from Bosnia, um, and I didn't speak English. I do speak now, so I hope you understand. And I didn't have any money. I did various jobs, opened Firezza, and I sold it this February to Pizza Express, and I made lots of money. So I'm going to tell you my experience, and then hopefully we have some time for questions and answers later on. So I studied civil engineering, as I said, came here in 1992. My life was very much upside down in this time. When I came here, my first job was washing the dishes in an Italian restaurant in Paddington. It was 200 seats restaurant with no dishwasher, split shifts, 60, 70 hours per week. And I didn't speak English, so I don't know how I communicate, but very slowly I learned how to cook, I learned how to make pizza, pasta, fish, meat. I became head chef. Then I went to be the waiter, front of the house, area manager. My last job was area manager for Starbucks. And then I started Firezza in 2001. So just a little bit about circumstances, why I started and how it all started. I think what I do is I have an entrepreneurial mind. What I mean by this is I see opportunities in lots of things surrounding us. And I think this is something which was a driving force for me to start my own business. And I always wanted to do it. I had a really, really huge drive to kind of find the opportunity and fill up the gaps. I was obviously coming from the restaurant background. I wanted to open the restaurant. When I was ready, I felt that delivery was very much, there's a huge gap in the market. It was dominated by big American, companies. And it clicked to me. I said, there is a huge market. I don't need to reinvent the new things. My theory was to capture existing markets and to re-educate people to challenge the existing habits. So it doesn't have to be the way it is. We can do it better. And then we started to do research. How can we do this? So one of the obvious things to tackle was the food. We wanted to, all the players in the market at that time, they had a similar food quality. So I'm not going to name anybody, at this stage. So we wanted to recreate the best pizza in the world, which was a very ambitious thing to think at the time. So we went to Naples, where pizza originated. We found our pizza chef Enzo in Naples, our first pizza chef, his brother Carmine. It looks like you know them. We had the wood fire oven, and also we found pizza by the meter. So the way we do pizza is pizza al metro style. And we found the first site in Battersea in Lavender Hill, which is the wrong part of the road. It was kind of a little bit rough. We had a friend architect who helped us to design the place, had a friend graphic designer. It's two of us who made the menu, and we opened. We didn't know what to expect, but we really wanted to go for it. At that time, I left the security of the steady job. I had a corporate environment, wages coming on time every single month, exactly on the same day, no cash flow issues. Company car, expenses. So I left the security of this to start something new. And my wife, we had the first child coming at that time as well. So timing was absolutely wrong for these kind of things. So the first site in Battersea we opened, it was a wood fire oven in the middle, very small site, combination of eating, delivery, and takeout. So, it was very loud. Oven was kind of in the middle with the fire. So people were coming in and out. We had the Vespa motorbikes. We had beautiful girls driving motorbikes rather than, chubby drivers. And we wanted to challenge everything, doesn't have to be, we went actually too far. But the philosophy was, we can do things differently. It doesn't have to be the way it is at the moment. But luckily, we were busy. So what Firezza stands for, we serve beautifully prepared restaurant quality food to help conscious individuals throughout unsurpassed delivery, eating out, and takeout experience. So this is our purpose when we started, and it's pretty much remained the same until now. Right, so the pizza by the meter, this is another point of difference from our competitors. For you who know pizza by the meter, it's Napolitan way. The dough is very soft, so it opens, every quarter meter you can have a different topping. So you can have 1 meter, ideal for the families to share, or for a big group of people to share. So the dough is very soft, it's very fluffy, and we pretty much remain. That was the core thing for us, which we would never change. We do change over the time, change and adopt, but the product is always the same. So we also deliver alcohol, which is again point of difference. So the key part of our success is the dough quality, which is we have a recipe, very, very simple recipe. I can't obviously tell you what it is, but it's very simple. And I personally believe pizza is very simple and easy product, but it's also very easy to get it wrong. Right, so over the years, we, as a company, we invest in technology. We were the first company to start mobile ordering about almost 10 years ago. So when we were talking to our EPOS people, we tried to get the platform to order through the mobile. They were saying, mobile? Who is going to order on the mobile? So there was technology, there was always this entrepreneurial spirit. We want to do things better. We want to do things differently. We want to challenge existing habits. So the unit model. We have, over the years, we opened 17 sites before we sold. And we worked on, pinpointing how the unit model should work. So we put a little bit more of science before finding the sites. We don't use our kind of gut feeling. We capture all existing customer data. We know exactly who our customers are. They are 25 to 35 young professionals. We know where they live. We know what car they drive, what habits they have, what they eat, what programs they watch, and so on. So that's how we choose our sites. Then we map up the postcode of area like we do within M25. You can have a color coded where your customers are, and then we know we want them to be within 8 minutes drive. We know how many households we need within 8-minute drive, and then we pinpoint our site. So there's lots of science and data going on before we choose the site, just to avoid unnecessary risks. That's our branding. For you who don't know, Firezza is mainly based in London, but we are opening outside London. We have Tunbridge Wells, Exeter, Trowbridge, and so on. That's a customer profile. So it's basically people who don't have time to eat, to cook and to eat sometimes. So it's a time-poor people, young professionals who have a disposable income and they want to have restaurant quality food delivered to their home. Right. So this is the chronology what happened, how we started, and over the time, over the last 15 years. In 2001, we opened the first site in Battersea. A year later was a site in Wandsworth. And then, we were not really good at the time in the finances and planning financially and looking at the VAT returns and the cash flows and so on. So we learned lots of things by doing mistakes. In 2004, by coincidence, we met a city accountant who helped us to raise the money from a city-based VC company called YFM. So they invested in us, and there was a time when we started to have a proper board. We had the chairmen, we had the board meetings, and it started to be the proper business. Over the years, we obviously opened more sites. We opened the central kitchen as well, so all the production was centralized, which allowed us to have more consistent product. In 2012, YFM the fund was closing, so they had to exit. And they had 50 investments, all different sizes and shapes. So we managed to buy them out by raising money from private investors. And there was a time when we bought your business here in Tunbridge Wells, actually. So we managed to buy them out, and it was completely different board, kind of young, the business angels, more pressure, and so on. So we had a plan to get to maybe 30, 35 sites. And then last year, sometimes, middle of last year, whole market changed. we were not for sales, but we attracted lots of different people, lots of different companies, big and small, of which one was Pizza Express. And then we had to make a decision. In this time, it's very difficult. You build up something, you have your goal, you know exactly where you're heading, but then they come with the certainty, with the certain exit. And what do? So we decided, after looking at what's going to happen with the market over the next 2 years, how many players, how is market changing, raise of aggregates like Deliveroo, Just Eat, and so on. And we decided, it was the right time to sell. So we entered the sales process, and we completed in February this year. Right, so this is what happened in the past. I kind of ran through this because for me, it's been part of my life for 15 years. Now, what happened post-exit? I'll tell you a little bit about experience, how the sales process runs, in my case, and what it takes to sell the company. So, sales process lasted for 6 months, for a fairly small deal, in the scale of Pizza Express. And we had, obviously, we entered something called due diligence, where they're checking every single aspect of your business. So I had 2 jobs. You have to run the company, which has to perform in order to sell. Your performance has to be really, really kept up. And at the same time, due diligence is very demanding. It's another full-time job, basically. So you're doing 2 full-time jobs for 6 months. As you can imagine, it is a lot of pressure. So towards the end of the year, there was lots of things coming up. They have their big team of people. We have our team of people. And that was February this year. That was when I kind of gave up so many times. We walk away, they walk away. It is very, it's wonderful experience looking back now. But when you are in it, it's kind of, it can get to you. So we were in the city on Friday night. Before that Thursday, we spent all day, trying to answer all the questions, like from morning until late night. So Friday, it was about 10 o'clock in the evening, and I just gave up. I said, that's it, we are going. So I went out, I went walking. And city is pretty grim on Friday night. It's raining, February, everything is closed. There is not much going on. And then they called us in to sign, in their offices. So we went there. It was about 2 hours signing, and it was like a kind of blur. I didn't really believe it's still happening. Anyway, we signed. I came out, it was about 11:30 in the evening, again, in a part of town which is not busy at all. So you imagine when you sell your company after 15 years, it's something like, it's a spring day, you come out, all your friends, bars, everybody waiting, you come out, buy drinks for everyone, yeah. And I was so exhausted emotionally and, really tired. And there was nobody to tell, there was nowhere to go. I took the last train home, came back home. My wife was in Italy, and I opened the bottle of wine, had 1 glass, like, yeah. And that was the celebration. So what happened afterwards is they asked me to stay to run the company for within Pizza Express, which I accepted. So I was thinking I'll stay there for a year, try to go through the. To hand over in the perfect stage. The company has to be kind of, integrated properly and so on. But nothing ever works according to plan, from my experience. So 2 months later, they changed the strategy, and they said they want to open 100 sites nationally and actually internationally. So they asked me to stay to be part of this, to lead really fast expansion. Something which I couldn't say no to, and I'm very much in the middle of it now. It's not like a big corporate company trying to navigate between different departments. It's very different, but it's been pretty much part of my life for last, how many months? February, about 10 months almost. This is our new branding, and we're opening sites all over the country now. Exeter, Milton Keynes, we're opening Reading. There is Trowbridge. I don't know where Trowbridge is, but we have a site there. And at the moment we have 22 sites. Next year we're opening 2 in January, and then we'll open probably about 20 next year as well. So that's our menu, the latest menu. Now, just to finish off, what does it take from my experience to start the company and to exit? So the first thing is, from my own experience, is entrepreneurial mind. There are people who want to do this, and there are people who like security. And this is, that, in my opinion, there are two different types of people. So the timing has to be right, and this has to be right, but nothing is ever right. It's either you have a drive to do it, or you don't. And this is when you see the gaps in the market. And the second thing is determination and the right attitude. I mean, looking back over the 15 years, I had so many reasons to give up, to kind of walk away, find a job in corporates, have my salary, no cash flows, no, one day you got a business, another day you don't have a business. And, look, it really takes determination and belief. The self-confidence is the other thing, but I would rather define this as if you don't believe you can achieve this, then environment is going to respond the same way, and it's going to stop you to achieve something. So almost like projecting, starting from the point of victory is very important. I'm saying this now, I sound like a hypocrite myself because I didn't do it, but now I see the importance of this, to believe in your project, to believe in what you're doing, and to kind of visualize the exit on the horizon. Flexibility, there's always, nothing ever works according to plan. Things are moving in different directions. You have to change and adapt, and you have to be flexible to achieve that. And then obviously have a trustworthy team of people, which means people you can work with, people you can trust. And I think the most importantly, people you can have fun with doing this. Because on the end of the day, we are in food industry, food business, which means fun. It's a pleasure of life. It's something you have to be happy to do rather than miserable. That's me. Thank you very much.
Edin, thank you very much indeed. It's great to hear that story. It's a brand that we're all very, very familiar with, but perhaps the backstory behind it is something that very, very, very interesting. I know that these guys will probably have a lot of questions for you, but I'm also conscious that of time. But ladies and gentlemen, if you do want to ask Edin any questions, would you mind sort of sticking around maybe 5 minutes and chatting to people? So do find Edin off stage, and we'll bring on the next round of the contestants.
Excellent.
Edin Basic, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, so in the interest of time then, let's come on to the next category of the pizza chef. I'll just go and give them the bad news. Okay, we're ready for you. Number one. Who's number one? Alessandro, numero uno. Where is Alessandro? Here he comes. Come on out, chef. Are you ready? Let's get your first pizza in the oven, PDQ, my friend. Try not to press the buttons. Stop playing with the oven. Just put it back.